There's this argument that on January 6th, 2020, we had an attempted coup on the country. And this is a problem that needs to be addressed because they were trying to overturn the election of Joe Biden. Well, if you have read about history and how the CIA has conducted actual coups, coup d'etats, you'll know exactly how an overthrow of an elected government works. And it's not going to work with a ragtag bunch of rioters who basically were angry at the election results, or that they think that there was some shenanigans in elections. This country has a history of overthrowing elected democracies all around the world, starting with the 1954 Guatemalan coup d'etat, President Jacobo Arbenz. So regime change regarding the Central Intelligence Agency goes all the way back even to the early 19th century. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, this is not new to certain people. And, you know, you're acting shocked, and especially the Democratic left. All these leftists are saying, you see what they tried to do? They tried to overthrow our presidency here in the States. Well, God's sakes, Obama actually funded, to you leftists out there, Obama actually armed and trained through Operation Timber Sycamore, a CIA operation that was actually supported by Israel and Jordan, in the arming and training of actual terrorists, in which you call moderate rebels, or as the media call them, to try and overthrow the election or the presidency of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. You actually killed, murdered, assassinated Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi. Thank you, Hillary Clinton, you ghoul. Remember, we came, we saw, he died. Bush administration. Let's not pick on the left here, but Bush administration. Well, Saddam Hussein, Iraq. In fact, we lied about that. We basically came out and lied. Basically said, they see Al-Qaeda and Iraq are basically trying to procure chemical and biological weapons. Let's go in there. Well, first we have to get approval for war, but since we had 9/11, we basically go to war with Easter Islands at this point. And what did they do? Well, in the process of capturing Saddam Hussein and then having him hanged, you killed 1 million people. You didn't blink an eye. Sure, there was protests all around the world. And especially the left, they basically said, we need to make a change. Well, in came Obama. No hope or change for you there. He basically bombed 7 Arab countries, right? And according to an NBC News article dated 2017, the United States dropped an average of 72 bombs every day in 2016, which came out as a report from the Council of Foreign Relations. And the countries he bombed were Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, and Libya. How many bombs were dropped in 2016? 26,171 bombs. They do that to the United States. This ain't an insurrection. It's a goddamn war crime. I mean, give me a break here. Talk about regime change. Let's go all the way back to 1980s. You have Poland, Chad, Nicaragua, Grenada, Panama, and Paraguay. Thank you, President Reagan. 1990s, Clinton, Iraq, Haiti, Iraq twice, actually, Zaire. Thank you, Clinton. And of course, Bush. Afghanistan, Iraq, Palestine, that's actually what happened, Syria, and then Obama, Libya, Syria. And you got the nerve to sit there and say there was an attempted coup on our government. We have to protect democracy. Your crocodile tears are noted. And by the way, do you really think that the federal government is going to hold their own when it comes to accountability? Need I remind you of the Iran-Contra hearings, the Church Committee when it came to the CIA, the 9/11 Commission, the House Select Committee on Assassinations? At least they said it was assassination on JFK, but there was no crime. God's sakes. It's like you people live in a state of denial, but it's not that. It's worse. Because you've been told at a very early age that there's a right and a wrong, that there's a left and a right, that there's a black and a white, that there's a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim. None of those things exist. They're all divisive applications meant to divide you away from each other. And who's at fault here? Well, the affluent, the federal government. That's who pushes these ideals onto you. And it's working. I mean, look at you. You basically live in front of that TV, watching CNN, watching Fox, watching MSNBC, believing every word that comes out because we're on the right side of history. There's only one winner here, folks. That's the federal government. The one entity, the one agency, the one monolith that we need to pay attention to as a whole unit, because they're the enemy to humanity. Was it you, the civilian, that dropped bombs in Iraq? Was it you, the civilian, that dropped a bomb at the Kunduz hospital in Afghanistan, which killed 42 people, injuring 33? A hospital. This was an Obama-ordered airstrike on a hospital because the intelligence came from a third-hand source, which basically said that this was a hideout for Taliban. And when the news got back, it was a hospital, an actual hospital, in which the doctors even tried to warn General John Campbell, in which he said that the airstrike was requested by Afghan forces, and later said it was a mistake, like spilled milk. And after NATO and Afghan investigations, independent investigations from outside sources said that indeed this is a crime by the United States government. Anybody held accountable? Of course not. You know why? You don't care. You people of the left, you don't. Crocodile tears. Nothing. Oh, well, it was a mistake. Obama's still a good man. But when Bush does it, it's a different story. You're hypocrites. You need to wake up. Because if you don't, you're going to live the rest of your life just like this, controlled and manipulated by psychological propaganda of the media from the federal government and the intelligence services. And unless we start paying attention to what really matters, we're going to be the victims and the casualties of our own ignorance.